have the ability to bounce back, DDK.
Yeah, it kind of looked like there wasn't enough of a plan around that agent choice. And that was what was kind of scary, because if you look at a map like Split, everything has to have a plan. All of the utility needs to be structured, and you have to really know what you're doing ahead of time. It's harder to have those more dynamic scenarios where you just make a call as the player and create something. And Gen.G certainly didn't allow that. I think this is definitely a better map for that kind of stuff. We'll have to see exactly how it's going to pan out.
Hello, Killjoy. Welcome to the professional scene. I like this. So let's break this down real fast, DDK. So Mitch is going to be operating as the Killjoy. No Sage here. We're going to get that double presence with the Sentinels. What Killjoy is able to do with the turret. There's a lot of little tools she has. Also, Nano Swarm, super powerful. Some may even say OP. This is exciting.
Yeah, I'm super curious to see exactly how they're going to play around Killjoy, because again, like, holding site's great, but we're on the attack right now, so, you know, preventing the retakes by using the nano swarms and the bots and so on is just really, really difficult and very annoying to deal with sometimes. And there's so many different spots you can place the nano swarms as well that are very hard to see. So looks like we'll get a contact straight into the A site here. effys will be the first man forwards with our Cypher able to jump past the fault line and make their way into the site. So it's going to be a retake, and that's okay. Retaking the site is not too bad. And oh, look how the cages went. Oh, it's beautiful there. Gets caught by the trip. That's so fantastic from MkaeL. Oh my god, it is raining Gen.G players. They're just diving from the rafters and just owning it. This is very difficult right now for Cloud9. They cannot gain the ground back onto the site. They've lost a spike there.
Yeah, they lost spike. They have no presence on site now. They're basically going to be tucked away inside of this archway, and that was because Gen.G simply just allowed them to be able to go onto the site. It started with that aftershock from Breach. That kind of gave them a little bit of a warning, like, hey, be careful, because if you go in here, we're about to bop you. They get into the site, and it also was a brilliant play on Cypher's end that coordinated with the Sova dart. Those two agents in tandem with one another, playing inside a cyber cage, playing recon, like, oh, it's so beautiful to watch. Now shinobi has revealed his position here. They know he really didn't have many other options to work with because the spike's going to be right in front of the generators.
Oh man, that's so beautiful to see. There's still an opportunity here to make something happen as they try desperately, but there's just too much utility in the way. But yeah, that's so awesome to see that cage. That is something now that Cloud9 have to watch out for. They have to watch out for the possibility that the Cypher could be playing behind that box.
Ooh.
TenZ getting some kills.
You don't need to feed the beast. You don't got to feed the beast.
Get that money.
And one pip away from getting ult as well, which could be problematic for Reyna that will get auto heals and will be able to move around the map freely. Got to be a tad careful about that.
There it is, the cage.
Yeah, this is the play.
Oh, so awesome. And then I think that was that a Sova dart or was that a trip?
You know what? Actually, good point there. I want to say it was a Sova, but
I think it was a Sova dart. I thought it was a trip at first, but I think it was a dart.
I'm like fairly certain it was because he got vision on multiple, I think. So in any case, so as we jump back into the second round here. And since this is the first time we are going to be seeing Killjoy in play, the turret doing some interesting things here in spec, but keep track of this one. In the typical position here for the Sova with an Ares round 2, but unfortunately not typical is going to be that TenZ does manage to pick up the kill there as huynh with a marksman inside of this one will... Oh man, that was actually going to be really difficult for him to try and stay alive out of that one. Now it's going to come down to player 1 here to hold this one down, as TenZ is going to be in his ult state here, which will elevate that rate of fire. And for the Bulldog, it will be that much more difficult for him to deal with. Bulldog's going to be a strong weapon, and in a round 2 like that, he will make do with it. They actually end up picking that round up despite losing the first. And that boiled down to them just punishing the Ares Sova over on defender side.
And as you say, you know, at the end of the first round, we had TenZ able to get a 3K, and he built the ultimate up. He managed to complete the ultimate at the beginning of that round, pop the Empress, and with that Bulldog, suddenly the Bulldog becomes a lot more scary. And TenZ is 8 for 0 right now after 2 rounds.
8-0 at the start, bro.
Yeah, he's having a good time. He's having a really good time, and we have Gen.G on a save. And we'll see what they can do with it. They will try to overwhelm towards this B main position where you may expect a lurk, and you can see that Mitch is the one here with Killjoy, able to delay using that nano swarm to make sure no one's on the angle close to him. He gets a lot of information. And at this point, it should be fine because there's not really the position to work from for C9 to do too much, or rather, sorry, for Gen.G to do too much more damage.
And this is where things are going to get a little scary here, playing against a Reyna. I highlighted him before, but Scream from Team Liquid in the Allied Esports event, for one, I mean, the headshot machine, it's unbelievable. But if there is a player in North America that can take that mantle and make it work, it is TenZ. You don't want a split game. You want exactly what's going on here on Ascent. That 8-0 start, 9-0 start is beautiful for them. Now they're freely going to be able to take this A site here. No one's going to get picked up. They just got to do their due diligence, check hell, make sure that no one's around here to thwart this play, because it could very well happen. But with Gen.G, with pistols, barely any HP here for MkaeL. No options, really. And they're going to get scouted out, too. Potentially, I mean, no, actually. I don't think MkaeL got pointed out there. Either way, I don't really see it playing that much of a role. Although TenZ is going to be super far out. Okay, so they're just playing this one slowly. Like a potential wallbang there. The guy by the button is a typical spot. Didn't really connect with anyone, but the Bulldog shot seems going to be weakened from the get-go. Shinobi gets 2, giving C9 2 in a row here. A nice rebound, if you will, from that round 1 loss.
And now things get very interesting. We get effys on the Odin, of course, as is expected. Thank you, Sinatra, on that B-bomb side. It's so many awesome positions for Sova to play on that B site with the recon dart. Very hard to punish. It can go anywhere on the ceiling in that B main position to get that information. You know, droning through is really efficient as well. And on rotation for retakes, Sova's arrows and so like it just feels like it's such a strong spot for Sova to be the anchor at the B site. But with that said, huynh, we're going to see him moving around a lot. He's going to start things off with the operator towards B main. He might just get the pick here. We've got the Killjoy Mitch on the other end of things. That is a corner, I think, so I don't know that he will actually be able to see him if he even does try to go all the way through. And the turret is there as well. So once the flick goes to the turret, will the peek come through? There it is. Mitch can't get the kill. They know a huynh is now, which is definitely a win for them. They need to know where that operator is at all times.
Knowing where huynh is a win.
Absolutely.
See, it's a play with words there.
You did there.
Do you support me? Thank you. But despite that, having that knowledge, huynh is still going to find the mark on Mitch. Mitch playing that flank role. And you were correct on the attack not being that favorable for Killjoy right now, at least, with the way that players have been trying to learn the agent, incorporate the agent into the various compositions. You will most definitely see Killjoy shine on the defense. But on attack, the options, you can clear a lot with Nanoswarm, but that's really it. Now, though, as they push up through mid, they end up getting stuffed there by effys, and this is just essentially a round for Gen.G, a clean round for Gen.G. They won't more than likely give up anyone here. I think C9 knows that this will be quite challenging for them to have to deal with, as they'll just need to get together, maybe play for picks, play for trades, see if they can get a gun out of one of the players' hands. I mean, that's really their only logical options, or hold on to their weaponry. He's going to send this one right through. And that's basically going to be the round there. So that one was, even though they got that intel that huynh was there, huynh still committed to it and continued to push it. And that just really left them with not a lot of comfort as to where they could possibly go from that point. They were really just forced on A, which is always going to be difficult to try and break through that. And now we got ourselves a game on our hands here, DDK.
Yeah, we're seeing some glimpses as to why the Odin on the Sova can also be so strong. We saw, we talked about the B potential, but also the spawn wall, the way you can spam through that, does allow Gen.G to play a little bit more conservatively around the mid position, which can be hard to hold if a team really tries to go for it. But we'll see how that develops. This time we can see huynh is repositioned. He's opened around, representing that operator from the mid position, does get smoked off by the dark cover, and in the meantime we do see Vice lurking towards the same main position, and it is a cat's presence now that is there for C9. They're working on this, they want that tree control, but there is a setup here. GMD is in position. Also has a paranoia to work with as well, if necessary. They're going to hold on to this position as much as they can, but the spray from TenZ is very problematic. The paranoia comes through player one, just barely able to spot TenZ. He was close enough, and there is a window, there's an opening, there's a chance here now for C9 on this A-bomb site.
Yeah, and even though he was paranoid, he was so close to him that was the reason why he was able to benefit from getting that kill, despite the best efforts there. But they do manage to get the trade. That is an important kill for them, keeping Cloud9 very much in this game, not hurting their econ, and that also will prompt the two players with very expensive guns to just go over to the B area, maybe hang out by the, fisherman's house there, just chill out for a moment. Not really much more that you can do. Just save these weapons. That is going to be the round for C9. And again, it boils down to the fact that TenZ, even though they had the beat on him, they knew exactly where he was. Reyna just gets the kills, becomes a problem, and you have to try and stop that quickly. Otherwise, you're going to see more results like this round after round from C9.
Yeah, I think it's really hard as well if you do just allow the attackers to have as much map presence as they want, as much map control, and we saw that round, as we will likely see more. We see C9 taking away all of the angles on mid. They have the smoke on the mid position, and then towards Cat, and then they were able to group up, as we see here. Great transfer there from TenZ. And this was a setup from Gen.G. They were saying that they're going to hold on to this position with that play, and they will live by it or die by it, and we saw that they died by it. So I'm expecting to see more aggression from Gen.G in a different fashion. Here's huynh with his third position with the operator that we have seen so far. Only onto our 6th round, and he's going to try and find something here from Catwalk. It might be rather difficult. He could try to updraft, but that would be quite risky.
And not something you want to do. Everyone's going to know exactly where you are, and it's just not a risk that you want to take with how close this game has been. Some attention being placed over here on the B site now, and effys is backed all the way up.
Omen's great at the delay towards B main. The paranoia can get pretty much every single player. effys there, drone for drone. They've surely got to know, I would imagine, that here comes the paranoia indeed, and that's also going to slow them down, force them back, allowing effys to get shots in with this Odin, but he's going to be so careful, looking to throw the recon dart in as well. And there's the telly in towards the back of the site to assist this site, and look at the rotation coming through now. 40 seconds, plenty of time, but they may be fed straight through to effys, who's there with the operator. That's a problem. That's a huge problem. He stays alive, gets a kill, and gets out.
He gets out of that, and he's still going to be an issue for them that they have to deal with. So this fast play that they wanted to take here with the 40 seconds that they had, that clock is going to be dwindling. GMD also has a great angle here too. And they're hearing all the footsteps coming out now. GMD is going to wait for the prime moment to just push this from the back of Red Room. effys tucked away in the back. TenZ does manage to pick up a kill though, but there's the Odin spray through. GMD finally makes that play happen as he sends it right inside of mid-market. Spike has to go down. They don't have a lot of time to be able to make this play happen, and they get onto that one at the nick of time. I mean, that was just as close as it could possibly get. Only 2 seconds remaining before they would have that time to plan it out. Now, the retake here is huynh has Blades out. It's a desperate round here, but this is looking good now for Gen.G as huynh holds that angle, and that is going to do it. They were all in the back. That was the advantage that Gen.G had. They had so many options just barreling right in front of C9 that they had no choice. They just had to get to walls and try and hope that their guns were going to bail them out of that one.
Yeah, there was such a smart way that Gen.G played that, because they knew that they can let the site go so long as they don't lose Sova, because the Sova is extremely powerful because of the Odin, because you can spray through all of this. You can spray through all these walls onto the site. If the attackers only have the site to play the post plant, they are extremely unfavorable.
No options.
They have the disadvantages are insane. So just letting the bomb go down, keeping yourself alive was the correct call from Gen.G, showing their experience. And huynh back to B main again. We haven't seen him here since the first time he picked up the operator.
Well, maybe he'll get what he wants. Oh, effys does deal a sizable amount of damage. Shinobi gets a tag, I want to say, but it's still huynh holding this angle. That's 2 kills for huynh. He's going to tailwind out of this one. The Cloudburst does not pop in time. But he's okay, though. He did the job. He got 2 kills for his effort. That is a mission accomplished there. If you're the opper, you're feeling quite good about that. Now Vice, though, this has been his series thus far. It does stay alive from that engagement, only with 11 HP. It's going to be the two Sentinels left alive to try and win this one alongside the Sova, who has Spike. And that is one of the great uses of Killjoy's ult. She can force people back, give them time to get onto the site, and freely plant it with no one the wiser.
However,
but now it's a post-plant.
Yeah, there's a huge problem because there is a Breach ultimate available. The Rolling Thunder can go through the entire site, which could eliminate every single player. So that's a very big problem right now that they're going to have to contend with. I don't know how they'll do it.
Beautiful.
This is going from bad to worse here for C9 as they try to hold on to this site, but they have, of course, lost the Breach, so it does give them more opportunities. effys, though, with that Odin is quite an intimidating presence. Tapping the bomb there is MkaeL, trying to make life more difficult. One player left in that held position. Shinobi gets it, 16 HP. Next bullet wins for MkaeL, and he will make it happen. Just enough time to get the spike defused as well, and my goodness, that was close. And you know what? They didn't have to spend the Breach ult, so I'm sure that they'll be pretty happy with that, Gen.G.
Yeah. That all stems from MkaeL getting the tree flank and putting that pressure. Also, the recon dart, they were not anticipating that. You can shoot through those boxes, as you can see right here. The damage is going to be slightly weakened, but given the fact that he was already going to be banged up, they just needed to get a few clean shots on him, and it was mission accomplished. So now we're sitting at a Gen.G 4-3. They have Rolling Thunder. They have Hunter's Fury. Have a lot of stall that would work out in their favor here.
A lot more emphasis towards A here this round from Gen.G. See G&V actually with the Operator on the catwalk position. Operator on the Breach. I don't see that every day. And I'm quite curious to see exactly what C9's plan will be here. Well, with that said, looks like they'll be able to defend against... I think that's just spray through the smoke there. Very unfortunate there for Gen.G, but for Cloud9, of course, you're loving that. The Breach, perhaps the most dangerous player with that ultimate available, is out of the round. So C9 are going to feel that much more confident about their site take, and they're looking to spill into some mid-pressure potentially here. They have the position to do it. They can swing from both sides at once, or they can smoke it and force win off. Oh, what a flick. That is clean as you like. Straight onto TenZ.
Gorgeous shot, and on TenZ, which is hurting them. He's been on fire this game, contrary to what we saw earlier on Split. Now shinobi, though, looking to get some intel with Drone. Does manage to succeed in that. Drone has played out. MkaeL had to just rip away for a moment. The crosshair was not going to be able to stay onto that doorway, and thus Relyks will profit off of that. Player one, though, inside of Hell, gets the paranoia off, though. Has to stay alive. He does not, but he does pull some attention and delays things for a moment. Now Spike is going to go down. But much of the chagrin there of Gen.G, they're going to know exactly where they're located, thus making it difficult with an Odin and an Op to break through this.
Yeah, effys wants to find a good spot for the recon arrow, but doesn't want it just to get immediately destroyed. So it's a pretty difficult spot. Doesn't want to waste it. Is edging his way forwards. There goes the recon dart of the opposing Sova, and effys now going through that. And there it is. Is he going to catch anybody? Oh, if he can find a kill with this Odin, there might be a chance.
He gets it.
And he gets the one onto Vice, but he's now alone. effys against the world as he may be forced back here. The Odin is expensive, 3,200 credits, and he will be making his way back and will be saving that Odin. And C9, again, just off of the back of that initial pick on Catwalk, onto the Breach. That was huge. That was such a huge moment for them.
And they know that Breach had ult available, so they were playing around that one expertly. Gave them a window of opportunity that they were looking for, as we're now tied up. Great game here between these two teams. A little bit of a cat and mouse. effys has been a thorn on the side of C9, as all Sovas are with Odins here on B site. And we're going to get a little bit more of a passive hold here.
There's the Odin presence. Win with that Jett ultimate. The knives are very dangerous. Oh, gotta be careful. Oh, I thought he had that one.
I thought so too.
But Vice are taken down. And that's one of the most dangerous things out of the round as far as Cloud9 are concerned. And the drone will clear the close positions, moving up towards the tree position. So that does allow them that extra information. And perhaps tells them that maybe there was more of a stack towards the B site, as a lot of the positions towards A are clear. Vice in another 1v1 here. Player one in a great position.
but he's only got a classic to work with versus the Bulldog for Vice. Did he see them? No. He's going to jiggle this one again, and there it is. So finds his mark. He knows his teammates are going to be inside of the site, which means that the Omen will have to deal with that. And there goes the pincer. Very well done by Cloud9. Spike is down. And a nice shot from TenZ. That's going to give him just 2 more to his ult. Once Empress comes back again, he can continue to harass his Gen.G lineup. And effys, yet again, holding on to his favorite toy, that Odin. Oh, gets tagged for 14 HP. I think they might try and rip this gun away from him here.
We'll have to see.
They're going for it. They're hunting him.
Oh, that is brutal. There goes the arrow up high. Is that going to tag anyone? It looks like it will, but he is gone. effys and the Odin. Well, he's going to have to repurchase that one if he wants to continue with it in the following rounds. And Cloud9's starting to take a grip of this one, but again, that breach shot is still available. So if GMD manages to survive the early and mid-round portions and is in a retake scenario, you feel like that Rolling Thunder should really just win you around. But it's been a problem for GMD to be in a position where he can work into that.
And they didn't really want to invest that in that pistol round. Unless they managed to get guns off of some of their targets, there really was no reason for them to do that. Now some more vision here gained by huynh. Oh, okay. So we'll pop nano immediately. huynh continues to hold this angle, owning mid. They learned their lesson from that last game too. They gave C9 mid control, and ever since then, Gen.G, they have not allowed them the freedom to be able to take this cleanly.
But the problem with that is if you see all that presence in mid, you know that those players aren't elsewhere on the map. So it does give you more control of the extremities and the potential to lurk into sites. Now, looking into A is quite difficult because Cypher is there with all the tripwires and the cam and so on and so forth. But we can see here that now, you know, after that initial mid control, mid's been given up by Gen.G, except for huynh. huyhnh's out there by himself. So if there's a delayed mid take here, huynh could be the difference to give Gen.G an advantage. But Cloud9 have to make a call now. They do have the spike towards the B site, so they can try to fake in towards this A site where there are the majority of Gen.G.
And they know where the Rolling Thunder is going to be located. So they use Rolling Thunder, but Shinobi gets the kill with Hunter's Fury. Rolling Thunder gets no value there, as that was actually not going to be the play. The play was going to be located here on the B side. effys, though, went right into the back. He was by himself. He tried to hold this thing off, but instead it is C9 that gets onto the site. They get that Rolling Thunder out of the hands of GMD. You are very satisfied if you're a Cloud9 fan right now.
Yeah, it's going to be so frustrating for GMD, the fact that he constantly is he got picked through the smoke one round with the ult. In that round, obviously, he gets tagged by the Hunter's Fury. There wasn't anything he could do. He's got to feel like he's just been completely shut out of the game at this point. And I'm loving the usage of Omen's ultimate, the TP, to actually be used when you're attacking, when your team's running into a site.
As a distraction.
Exactly. So you either have to deal with it, and you can see effys there. He knows if he loses the control of the back portion of the site, that he has no chance to do anything. So he has to try to make it across, and then he was in a position where he had no options. There was absolutely zero options for effys to do anything there, and that is because of the way that the Omen ult's being used. And I actually saw them also using it in that way on split as well in certain rounds. So loving that.
Yeah, Omen's teleport in the beginning, everyone was like, I need to get this as far away from the other team as possible so I can pop up behind them. And now it's become more of a matter of, this is a great distraction. Because if you don't deal with it and you know that it's coming, it will just be another thing you have to handle. And with the way that C9 aggressively played that site, there was the wiggle room, just basically none for effys. Now, though, as C9 go up 6-4 here, look for a little aggression, and okay, a TP inside of this. Okay, yeah, he TP'd on top. He had the dark cover, and he gets on top of that coverage here. They have no idea where he is. Now they're going to know. They have 2 players, essentially, one dead and one still alive on mid, and another one playing the support game too. But also, while that's going on, C9 players, they were going to be scattered about in mid, losing some bodies in the process. Vice, though, again, has just been ice cold this whole series.
Yeah, the Cypher battle on the A site. It's really, really awesome. Once you see all that mid presence again, you know that there can't be many players on the extremities, so you can. That's an opportunity to get some lurk value, and we see that it happens exactly here. Now the GMD is alive to play a late round, but his Rolling Thunder has been expended, and so he's unable to use that.
Depends what he has. Maybe he has Fault Line available.
Hard to find their way back in, especially with this flank coming through. Killjoy, oh, this could just seal the deal. And he's lining it up, and there's nothing to be done there. Gen.G and MkaeL going down. Just player one left. 1 versus 2. The opposing Cypher is very low, Vice, but this is not looking likely here for player one. He can't get forwards through these choke points. I'm loving Gen.G's mid-aggression, but they're unable to... They're being exploited by Cloud9. In this round, we see again, Cloud9 know that if there's that mid-aggression, then they can move into other directions on the map. And they find those timings and they exploit them. So Gen.G didn't get the value that they needed, unfortunately, because this was fantastic. What a great mid setup.
Yeah, everything about that. We don't see the TP on top of the boxes that much because the dark cover, and it was smart though to play the dark cover there. You're not really going to get a clean angle if you're holding that one corner, which why would you hold that corner? There's no reason for you to be in the back right. So he knew that he had the freedom to do that. I agree with you, DDK. The problem is they're simply just giving up a lot of that site control, and they're not winning these battles. They're giving up too many resources. But they're going back into this, into the extremities, which, by the way, has become my favorite word. Like I've loved that. But they are playing the opposite ends of the site. Most importantly, they are going to be bringing Huynh around with Op to get around this.
Yeah, working that B main position with the operator once again, and they have market control and pizza control still. Do Gen.G. C9 are looking to go for that explosion towards the A bomb side. And we haven't seen this too commonly, like, or at least it happening in this fashion. We'll see what they can get through this. MkaeL there in a close position by the door, ready to press that button if he needs to. Does have Gen.G behind him as well towards the tree position, so they're holding on to some key spots here, even if they do concede the site. And look at this, C9 with the bait there. And they know that that caused some rotations, and now mid's open because all the defenders had to rotate either towards A or to other positions. So mid is for free.
And Vice is still lurking at A, so he continues to cause a problem. Are they still here? Are they still committing? Are they not? And Vice with that shutdown of the door might be enough to give them cause for the pause here as shinobi wraps around tree. Some more kills coming in. Vice now, neural theft. They'll know where player one is located, and they're going to swing this. He's by himself, and they managed to profit with that kill, but they got to get the spike over there, and I think they will just be able to get the spike down right at the nick of time. Now it's up to GMD. He could play spoiler here. Spike will go down. 2v2, but Emperor State currently here for TenZ. Rate of fire increase. We'll also get that overheal out of the gate. GMD is going to be rather weak, but GMD wins the fight. Now it's going to be up to Relyks. 1v1, and he wins it! Oh, wow! Holding this down for Cloud9.
Vice is playing so well.
He really is.
It's actually so disgusting to watch how much value he's finding. He found 2 1v1s in the A bomb site, just walking in by himself, and killed the player on the high ground, and just got all this like deep positions. That caused so many issues for Gen.G. They're just unable to handle him. Oh no! So that's going to be 8-4 for Gen.G. Big lead. Sorry, for Cloud9. My mistake. Big lead for them going into this second half, and I'm really impressed with what we're seeing from C9. Really making things look a lot better than that first map on Split, where they couldn't quite find the comfort.
Yeah, I think that the mid presence that they've been putting forward, Gen.G, it was exactly what C9 wanted. They wanted them to take mid a bit more, and then you get that info, which has always been working out for them here. Each and every round, they know exactly where they need to move because of the way that they're playing this out. Now, they're just going to fast send this, but they have to be careful not to connect with anyone here on the Paranoia. Paranoia does not lock onto a target, does not do any damage, or not damage, but doesn't block any of the vision here. MkaeL is going to be playing backside alongside with Oh boy, this is actually going to be quite deadly here. And I stand correct, I was going to say MkaeL, but it was Vice who was hanging out in the back. MkaeL, though, will get the better of his Cypher rival. Spike goes down, the retake comes through here. You got TenZ still alive, alongside with Mitch. Two players you certainly would want to stay alive in this situation. He will normally nail those shots, TenZ, but as he creeps around the corner, he's going to get hit for a decent amount of damage, just forcing him to have to drop back. But in the pistol round, you can just play inside of the site like this. The guns are weaker, you play the cross, and the advantages.
And with that turret, actually, they're able to face it, and now there it is. TenZ able to heal himself up. Mitch, what on earth was that? A quick trio of kills from Mitch. The headshots all over the place, and I was worried about TenZ, because I'm like, TenZ on that Reyna, you get that kill, you can overheal, and then you become very, very problematic. But Mitch with that turret, the triple
I didn't
peek.
expect the turret. I mean, to be frank, the first time I'm casting Killjoy, so the turret caused a distraction, and then it gave them the intel as to where they were going to be. That was very well done.
One quick thing I want to mention about that first half, and a difference I want to see from the defensive side here now for C9, is I want to see C9 going much more for gelato takes, because that's what I wanted to see from Gen.G. If you go for gelato takes, it's much harder to retake that if you lose it. And if the defenders have that, they can void it completely or leave one player there. It makes it a lot easier to play the rest of the map, which is why a lot of the top teams have these amazing setups for gelato takes. But hopefully that's a projection to see what we might see from C9 in the future rounds on their defense. But as for this eco round, trying to farm the orbs there on the A main position, that's a win.
Yeah, always a plus to be able to get the orb in early rounds like this. We saw how powerful that Empress was earlier when TenZ had the freedom to pick up orbs, but also he was just getting all the kills that he wanted. He might actually line up a few kills here with the judge. Gets one, gets two, gets three! He's looking for another one too, but there's player one, stops him. And it could have been a little dicey there for, well, it definitely was dicey and very, very risque, but I love to see a good judge play in the corner. As MkaeL now is going to be the last man standing to deal with this. It does not work out in his favor. Cloud9 will go up 10-4. I just always like, even if in an eco, I just love seeing the judge just punching people in the face. Look at this. He just like right hook, left hook, right hook, left hook. All of that. It was gorgeous.
Yeah, the judge is pretty insane, actually. It's pretty insane. I know that Liquid or previously Fish123 were perhaps the earliest adopters, understanding that it's actually so insanely good in certain spots. Yeah. And a lot of teams were not expecting to run into it. Because it is a force buy option, actually. You can make some crazy setups, but enough about that. We do have a buy back here.
Oh, look at this aggression.
Yep. Playing off the camera. And the camera is going to be amazing because it can set up the Sova with the Ares.
Yeah, he doesn't even need to use the... Oh, well, actually, they're going to go for the Paranoia instead. So the Paranoia is out, and it's going to make them force back here. Vice did find one, but he dropped the Cyber Cage at that time. That was just the timing. He was looking at him. He had no idea that he was looking at him, but hey, it all worked out in the end. Now he'll have the coverage from inside of this. He sends it through. Vice does manage to get back. All these players are still going to be committed to this one. Relyks is going to be the one to die out of that one. Not the guy that was pushed so far up he could sniff the other team. No, instead it's going to be his buddy that was supporting him.
I feel like Vice planned that from the beginning, just like steal the Phantom, get the Phantom upgrade, because I feel like he totally sold his teammate out there. But regardless, we can see the reset now as we go into a 4 versus 4, 40 seconds to go. And we have Gen.G taking some mid position, looking for that B split, can make their way through market. However, we can see a recon arrow is available there, which could be problematic when you have to force your way quickly through these choke points and the recon arrow and you're unable to stop it revealing your position and this Ares is out. That can be dangerous, and now the rotation begins here for Cloud9 as they try to get themselves... Oh, hang on, hold that fort. Shinobi's in the Cloud Burst. Oh no, the Ares from the back, and he's causing all kinds of problems here. Shinobi, and the blind comes onto effys, but somehow he stays alive. Somehow the bomb's going to go down here.
I mean, that could have gone sour very, very quickly, but they have no position to be able to take this. It is going to be a 2v2, though. MkaeL's going to go all the way back in the boat. effys does die. It's going to be down now to MkaeL. Can he clutch it? No, instead, TenZ. 2 headshots clean. Also, we'll get the Empress out of that as well. And Cloud9 are so close to wrapping this game up. That was... you never expect the cloud burst lurk, you know, because it's the smoke that disappears the fastest. And this play, too, is just shenanigans.
Yeah, this was fantastic with the Ares as well. Not the sneakiest of weapons, but it does its job. And there we go. So Cloud9, as you say, they're almost through map 2 here. Gen.G were able to win map 1 fairly convincingly if you are just joining us. So this, if it is the case that Cloud9 win this map, it's going to tie us up 1 apiece, force the 3rd map for this best of 3. But moving into this next round, looks like we should have more presence towards mid and A main from Gen.G. And it is suddenly a slower approach here from the likes of Cloud9 on their defense. They're actually rotating an additional player over. They have a bunch of trips and cameras available for B. They can play the retake there quite effectively. And they're gambling on this A bomb site.
They're both staring at each other with abilities that go through the wall. That's funny. All right, Relyks is backing up. Oh, they're going to be tucked away outside. Relyks has no idea. There goes the recon. Relyks needs to be careful to get caught in the middle of this. He does manage to dodge it for a moment. The Rolling Thunder is going to be in play as well. MkaeL, though, in the scuffle does manage to get a kill. And in fact, it's going to be Gen.G who managed to profit off of a few kills here. Looking really good right now for them, as they're just trying to take control of the site. But just as I say that, I eat my words. Relyks and Mitch, they didn't deal with the players that were inside of A. And now it's just going to be GMD. The Rolling Thunder was used. I think they also used the Hunter's Fury there as well, and they got nothing out of it.
The amount of stuff that Relyks dodged there,
yeah, it was like Neo, dude.
Insane. And he gets 2 kills out of that as well. That's incredible. What a play there from Relyks. He really sealed the deal in that situation, making sure that he could lock down those 2 important kills as Gen.G were marching their way into the site. And there it is, 12-4. Cloud9 looking to close this one out in quick fashion, and with Mitch having the ultimate available on Killjoy, that's going to create even more issues. Oh man, there's so much working against Gen.G right now. We need to see a completely different look. They may just explode into this A bomb site again. Oh, I'm not feeling very good about Gen.G's chances. Oh, the double updraft.
Yes, I love the double updraft play. Now TenZ is going to be cut off from his team here. A few smokes are going to go out, and TenZ does manage to creep through the doorway in the nick of time. He jumps through, but he doesn't have much of an opportunity to bail out of it. Instead, he's going to run into the bulldog there of GMD. Relyks is still going to be left alive, though. Now it's down to a 1v1. In the instance, oh my word, that pesky turret. It does enough damage to hurt the armor. GMD does have the read. He can still win this one out, but Vice has been on fire. Now he's going to be down to 67 HP too. And yeah, he has no idea where he's going to be, but he still gets the kill. He still gets the kill, even though Vice knew exactly where GMD was.
That was so awkward. I love that. This is one of the things that makes Valorant so amazing. Is just like whether you have like the mirror matchup with the agents in the 1v1, or a situation like that where you got the breach with the the aftershock there ready to go to like block Vice's position, but Vox has him tagged with a dart from the cam. So Vice decides to play ahead of the aftershock so that he can punish, and
don't forget the turret.
Both plays are good. Yeah, the turret as well.
Because the turret was there, it did some damage to GMD. He gets tagged a little bit too. Like that was insane. Keeps Gen.G alive, but still match point for Cloud9. A lot of ults online, and on top of that, DDK, they already lost 1 player. Scratch that, make it 2. They're not gonna have all this intel as Vice disengages. He has been on fire in this match.
Well, 2 unreturned kills. That is a horrible way to start out a round if you are Gen.G. They've got only the Cypher ultimate available, and that's not exactly a good one to initiate the action and break some of these very fortified positions. With that said, though, GMD is able to find 1, which is something, but unfortunately now they're 2 against 4. It's looking so desperate here for Gen.G as they try to keep the dream alive on Ascent. And there it is.
Helps.
So I'll give them some information. And they are going to try to walk up middle, it looks like. And this can be a way to catch a player that's kind of rotating in between the sites. And there's the drone over the top, trying to wait that drone out. Beautiful, the drone's actually destroyed, although it did get a tag. 30 seconds now, time is of the essence.
No real options for Gen.G here. effys and MkaeL looking to keep their team alive in this one, but bear in mind, and Relyks just got some intel too. Hunter's Fury is going to be in play. Mitch is going to be using the Killjoy ult too. They're using everything to try and hold him off here. Relyks gets the kill. 1 player left alive. It's going to be MkaeL. He manages to get at least 1, but when it's all said and done, the spike is down. There's really nothing that he could possibly do. He also gets tagged with that detain, so really, MkaeL is just stuck there with his hands up, no options. That's GG, 13-5. It wasn't a pretty close out there, but it was certainly going to be enough, and C9 will force this one into a Game 3.
Yeah, that was a very confident display. It looked a lot clearer, like their game plan, executing it. And I think for Gen.G, again, as I mentioned, one of the adjustments I would have loved to have seen them make is to focus, instead of, in those mid-rounds, mid kind of surges and mid-control plays,